coming up tonight on Sports Extra. Happy NFL season, everybody. You've been patient. It is here. But unfortunately for the Falcons, not so happy with the last-second loss. And both Georgia and Georgia Tech, they were victorious over mid-majors, but there were two pretty different reactions post-game.
We got to find ways to be explosive. You got to be able to throw the ball downfield and take shots, and that's probably the toughest thing that I've been most disappointed in.
Really excited to get a win. All wins are good wins. That was a big thing that I have talked about with the entire organization, that when we win football games, we're going to enjoy winning football games.
A win's a win. Lock in. We got plenty to talk about. It is the best time of the year. My friends are here with us. Are you guys going to make these kicks that Ross talking about?
You better start making those kicks. It's good.
It's good. We're good to start. Let's go. Thank you so much for staying up late with us each and every Sunday as we break down a Falcons late loss to start the year. Not how we wanted to start, but let me tell you, those final 3 minutes of the game were wild. Let's walk through them to remember what happened. The Falcons cap off a nearly 9-minute drive, multiple reviews. There was a lot of time happening in that game. Michael Penix stretches out, narrowly gets over the goal line, so the Falcons take the 20-17 lead. Then the ensuing possession, Baker Mayfield shows exactly why he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the game in recent years. He can make plays happen. Fires a dart over the middle to rookie Emeka Egbuka for the second score of the game for him, but he missed the extra point after. The kicker missed the extra point, makes it 23-20, so an opportunity for Younghoe Koo to tie it. It didn't happen. In case you read the stat line and the storyline afterwards, missed a 44-yarder, and the Falcons dropped the season opener 23-20, the final. So we got plenty to talk about, maybe some therapy sessions to go through when you see that kick go wide right. We're going to start with our friends here. Caleb Johnson directly to my left, 92.9 The Game. What's up? How are you feeling after the missed kick?
That's about it, honestly. It feels like it's another year and another time where we're dealing with this same thing all over again of missing a really great opportunity to win a game for the Falcons.
Yeah, and they looked good enough to win the game, at least in my opinion. Although Jarvis made a really good point to me off camera. Should they have gone to overtime? Perhaps, maybe they wouldn't have won the game. Jarvis Davis locked on everything extraordinaire down there on the far side. I know that you were yelling some obscenities when that coup went right?
Yes, because guess what? This reminds me of last year, 2024. We're in 2025 last time I checked. So why are we still talking about Younghoe Koo missing kicks, not being able to tie the game, not being able to put your team in a position to win a football game? Because guess what? The way Nine was playing, Michael Penix for those who are counting, he was playing at a very high level. That dude was doing whatever he could to be able to get put his team in a position to be able to win a football game.
Okay, so here's the tough question now, because as we see, Younghoe Koo has these issues. Last year you talked about the injuries with him. Same old. Caleb, Jarvis, both of you guys are saying the same thing. But is it time to move on from Younghoe Koo, Caleb?
Here's the problem. I don't think he can, because guess what just became final this week one of the season? His $4.25 million contract. And I think that's a big chunk of change and something you can't just walk away from. The positive, if you want to go glass half full, is that over the course of the last 2 years, he was 5 for 5 to either tie the game or take the lead in the closing minutes. So he has that clutch ability. He just hasn't shown it on enough of a consistent basis. And then you throw the injury factors on there last season, and it's a problem that I know a lot of Falcons fans are going to want fixed immediately. And a guy like Lenny Craig is right around, and you could do it right now if you wanted to. I just don't know that they will.
And unfortunately, Raheem Morris is very emotionally attached to Koo, so we'll see what happens there. Let's talk about running the football, something that the Falcons have been very good at over the years. However, the run game, pretty much non-existent, at least, through most of the game, Jarvis. When you're looking at how much they ran the ball, 27 rushing yards in the first half. That is it, 69 total for the game. What was their big issue in running the ball today?
They just weren't able to get a body on that man in the middle, and that's Vita Vea.
Yeah.
They weren't able to get any movement there. Obviously, with Caleb McGarry not being there and Chris Lindstrom having his partner in crime, so to speak,
on that right side of the football and not being able to go there like you normally have been in the past, that was the big thing, that they just sorely missed it. And then I feel like Zach Robinson didn't put his players in position to succeed. What do I mean when I say that? When you have Kyle Pitts trying to block Hassan Reddick on a 4th and short play, that is an absolute awful position for Kyle Pitts to be in because he does not have the capabilities of blocking. He doesn't seem like he doesn't want to block in those situations. So yeah, it was just too many instances where I feel like Zach Robinson didn't put his players in positions to succeed, and obviously Caleb McGarry not being out there, that was a big thing for the Falcons today.
Yeah, pretty frustrating because they started off with a big explosive. You see the pass to Bijan Robinson,
Absolutely.
the 50-yard touchdown, and I had people texting me the Falcons are going to the Super Bowl. And then everything kind of mitigated after that. Mike really did look like he had it, Caleb, especially when you look at that Superman-worthy touchdown that he had in the 4th quarter. What was it about Mike today that made you think, okay, they've got something going here on offense with him at quarterback?
I think it's the decisiveness. It's his willingness to try to push the ball and then do something that is not necessarily in his wheelhouse, which is run the ball. Like that is an aspect of his game that I think a lot of people might want to assume he has a great ability to, but he's really more of a passer down the field and still using his legs when he needs it most. It's funny, he's kind of done this throughout his entire career, whether it's collegiately at Indiana, getting a win over Penn State. Like he has had this ability to get these, impressive stretches over the goal line to score the ball, and I think it was the decisiveness throughout the entire day when he had a lot of chaotic things going on as far as losing receivers that I really felt like he held everyone together and he was the adult on the field when everything else seemed to sort of break down.
One of the best things that you can have an attribute in a quarterback is when they are at this level at all times, and Mike very much has displayed that, especially in week 1. He's going to need that when they have Sunday Night Football next week in Minnesota. Let's talk about Drake London because he is the guy that you want to get the football. Unfortunately, late in the 4th quarter, he exited the game with a shoulder concern, did not come back. Reports, Jarvis, are saying that it is a shoulder sprain, and initial reports looks like it's good, but we don't really know yet the problem. Remember, Darnell Mooney did not play today. So let's say they're now without Drake London as well. Are you concerned about where this trend is going with these receivers?
1,000% concerned. We talking about Cardio Hodge, Ray McLeod, and Casey Washington being your 3 wide receivers? No, that's not a recipe for success. I'm sorry, because we talked about got a chance to discuss like right after in the post game about how Darnell Mooney was sorely missed because that ball that Casey Washington dropped where Antoine Whitfield hit him. Yeah, it was just like, I think Darnell Mooney would have made that play. And when you're talking about potentially not having 5 out there as well, the Falcons could be in trouble if Drake London is not out there. And I think that passing game, that's going to put a lot on Michael Penix to make a lot more plays than he made today.
And I will tell you this, if you run the football effectively, you wouldn't have that much pressure on your receivers. So they're going to be looking to improve the running game as well for Sunday Night Football. But before we get there, we have to flip to the defensive side of the ball. And there is nobody that knows it better than our good friend John Abraham. You know, it's another Falcons season when you see a Falcons legend next to me. John Abraham back in the fold for the 2025 Falcons season. Disappointing to start it, especially because you get a division opponent, a very important game to start it against Tampa. And at the end, they had an opportunity to tie this game, potentially push it to overtime, but Younghoe Koo misses a kick that we all know he probably should have made, John. What was going through your head as the final moments of this thriller unfolded?
I really felt like we could have won this game. Watching Penix and watching the defense today, I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
I just got to be honest, from last year to this year, how long are we going to give him to keep making these mistakes? Last year we kind of, injuries.
Yeah.
Now, like, what's the problem, man? What's the problem? We need an automatic back.
Possibly a mental hurdle for Younghoe Koo that he can't overcome because of all those injuries that you're talking about. Right. Defensively, this team looks different, John. There is more of an aggression and an energy on the defensive side of the ball. What do you like about the way that they came out here and played?
I love the beginning of the game. I saw the freshness, I saw Diablo coming in the middle, and I didn't have to worry about Caden Ellis as much. Only thing I didn't like about the defense, I love the aggression, I love everything going on, but everybody saw so many yards by Baker.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't keep contained, whether it was on the middle or whether it was outside. And I think, which we talked about earlier, is we got to get some solidified starters. We got to get some guys that are going to get 40, 50 plays a game if they need to. I love the rotation, but I think a rotation only comes when the player needs it. I saw so many different numbers. I was looking for 27 because that's our guy, James Pierce. They saw how you're going to get so many sacks. Yeah. I saw him in the game, then I seen 11, then I saw 17, then I saw 96. Me, I'm like, when are they going to get consistent, like 10 plays straight or 12 plays straight? And we didn't see that. And I think that's why a lot of times you lost contain, or you see a lot of containment lost by, the guys, because you got to get comfortable. It's hard to get comfortable in a few plays at a time.
One person that you mentioned to me off camera that you were actually excited about, that you didn't really expect, was Divine Diablo. What was it about him in this game against Tampa that caught your eye?
Downhill. And last year, we used to sit in that booth and I'll be like, man, why are they sitting still? This guy goes downhill on the run, downhill on pass. Everything is just downhill, and I love it because he's an attack linebacker. And it gives Caden Ellis a lot more, I guess, vulnerability to do other things.
Baker is one of those quarterbacks that can extend plays. He did that several times. His legs were a huge issue for this defense. When you went up against quarterbacks like this, what was the biggest thing in containing them?
I just wanted to hit them because that's what they seem like they want. They seem like they're an aggressive quarterback, so you got to hit them as much as possible so then they can take that toughness away. Mm-hmm. Some people think, oh, yeah, he's tough. He can take a hit. Keep hitting him. He can take a hit. Oh, keep hitting him. Take it, keep hitting them. And I guarantee you start seeing that softness in them. You start seeing them kind of shaking, pulling it down. Think about when I used to play Cam Newton. When I first used to hit him, like, oh, yeah, he's breaking cover. By the end of the game, that little tap, boom. Everybody saw how his career went. Now, Cam was amazing. Like, the end of the career, he's like, I don't want no more hits. So you got to just keep punishing them.
Not Cam Newton catching a stray there. I love doing those breakdowns with Dave. You can catch my full conversation with the Falcons legend streaming right now on 11 Alive Plus. Now for tonight's Georgia Spotlight. What a day for that guy, Justin Fields. The Harrison grad may not have come away with the win in his Jets debut, but he definitely made a very strong impression. Fields goes 16 of 22 for a touchdown, picked up 2 touchdowns on the ground as well. Coming up, both Georgia and Georgia Tech, they have improved to 2-0 on the year, but in very different ways. So we will talk all about that and what is next for them. They both have big games loading, too. That's next. Big wins for both Georgia and Georgia Tech. I say big just because they're wins. I know everyone's going to say, look, it's not a big team. But still, a win is a win, in the words of Brent Key. We'll start with Georgia. Their offense, a lot of people are concerned that they're not hitting these explosives like the Falcons did in one play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But when they're not hitting these explosives, Caleb, where does your eye go on offense for Georgia?
I think there's a lot to be excited about this team right now. Obviously, you think of the transfer, Zachariah Branch, and what he brings on the outside of that wide receiver position. But I think the cause for concern comes with kind of similar to the Falcons, where like offensive line play has not been good. It's been because of injuries. When you've got 2 starters out and then you start a game, even if it's against an Austin Peay, and you lose another offensive lineman, this isn't the old days pre-NIL and transfer portal where Kirby had boatloads and boatloads of 5-stars behind on the offensive line. It's a thin position for everyone across college football, and when you lose guys, it really hurts you. And I think that was the biggest thing. And I also, Maria, I'm kind of hoping that Mike Bobo is being very vanilla on purpose through the first 2 weeks, and he's got things in his bag that he's going to pull out against Tennessee, because otherwise, I'm a bit concerned.
Okay, so we're going to go with Mike Bobo. Please don't show us everything until we get to Tennessee. I like that mindset because Tennessee is a very big game, Jarvis. There's a lot of people going to Knoxville. College game day is going to be there. I circled this one as I'm very scared if I'm Georgia game. What do you think about this?
I'm concerned because who they have at quarterback. Gunnar Stockton is not a gamer. He's not a guy who people think he is.
Okay.
He's not a guy. Mike Bobo has to simplify the offense because he's not a guy that can throw the football down the field. I still haven't seen it. I'm still waiting for Gunnar Stockton to make throws downfield. I'm still waiting. They told me he was a mobile quarterback. Yeah, he can move. Yeah, he can move around a little bit, but he's not a mobile quarterback. So you can't cater the offense in that manner. So you have to be able to throw the football down the field, especially what Caleb laid out. I thought he laid it out eloquently. Is that offensive line is not the offensive line of old. When you don't have offensive linemen to establish the run, and then you can go off of play action and all that stuff, and you can make play throws downfield, you can have easier reads. Gunnar Stockton doesn't have that, and he's not even capable of being a guy that kind of drop back timing throws, making his reads, check downs, and all that stuff. He's not that type of quarterback. So yeah, I would be very concerned if I'm a Georgia fan, because number one reason is why, because you have a guy like Gunnar Stockton who is a limited quarterback.
You sold that so well, but I'm going to tell you, I vehemently disagree with you. I don't have enough time to go over all the reasons why I do, so we'll move on to Haynes King. Just wanted to put it out there that you did it well.
Understood.
But I think Gunnar Stockton's a gamer, and he'll give you something against Tennessee. This guy, though, ultimate gamer, Haynes King. He is playing with, I don't know, 2 body parts. This guy's falling apart all the time. He didn't play against Gardner-Webb, but he is going to play against Clemson, or at least that's the assumption, Caleb. What happens when Haynes King is fully healthy, leading this offense, and he has a team like Clemson to play next week?
Honestly, I'm very curious to see how this goes, and if Aaron Philo is the quarterback that they look at again, because with Haynes King, we've seen obviously the high highs and a few lows, but more so the veteran experience that Haynes King has been able to show. We talk about having a mobile quarterback with Georgia. Definitely that is the case with Haynes King. Yeah. Him being able to run all over the place, but he also gets hit a lot. And yeah, you talk about like he's holding on. I think of Monty Python and 'tis but a scratch. Like he is really fighting every time he's out there, it feels like. But seeing what Aaron Philo could do even against a Gardner-Webb, I know it's a lesser opponent,
sure.
But his arm talent, and I mean the arm talent of Aaron Philo reminds me of Ryan Puglisi, who's backing up Gunnar Stockton, and I'm like, oh, these backup guys,
I want to see it.
Yeah, they might be the options to turn to, even if their veteran counterparts have the leadership and the experience.
Yeah, Aaron Philo, a Prince Ave star, he really does have that downfield passing capability. He is incredible as a pure passer. You've got 40 seconds to tell me if Georgia Tech can beat Clemson.
I think they can, because if you just look at how Clemson struggled against Troy, they had some issues on the offensive side of the football because they had the number one wide receivers out. So when you have those situations right there, that kind of can help out Georgia Tech, because Georgia Tech's defense were able to make some plays to get them going, because they got off to a little slow start with the turnovers and everything like that. So, and then of course, I'll take Georgia Tech's offensive line right now because the way they open up holes for their running backs, I think that's going to be tremendous for them.
All right, this is going to be an incredibly exciting game. Even though it's a noon kick, you better wake up early and get ready, because that one's going to be one to watch. Coming up, can't believe I'm saying this, but it was the spit heard around the world or seen. Look at multiple angles of the spit action. We're going to break down what exactly happened in Spitgate. That's next. All right, this week we saw plenty of people going viral during games for all the wrong reasons. You know when you're looking at something and you say, what are those? It's kind of like, what are you doing? So let's break down, starting with the spit heard around the world. Jalen Carter was caught spitting on Dak Prescott. But let me give you a little bit of context here. Oh yeah, that's Dak spitting. I don't know if it's on Jalen because he's a little far away, but what was going on in this, Caleb?
This is so bizarre. The fact of, we brought in the second spitter, and it's like, it feels like an episode of Seinfeld that we're doing here. It's just Jalen Carter, not Keith Hernandez. In the fact that Dak probably does this on a very routine basis of just getting in front of his offensive lineman to spit. It's football players. Like, they're outside. This is what they do. Jalen Carter was looking for something to get angry about, and he found it. Yeah. And then he took it a step too far. And it was like he became, instead of Philadelphia Eagle, he's like a Philly fan, because it feels like, they love to get out of hand at games. And I guess I wasn't too terribly surprised, because Jalen has a bit of a problem of going too far.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe in the situation of being that early in the game.
I mean, it's unbelievable. They don't even play one offensive snap, not one down, and he's spitting at somebody, on someone, and that's how we started NFL 2025. For tonight's Maria's Minute, let's talk about Michael Penix Jr. It is only one game, and we have a whole season to go, but he looks like a quarterback who can change a franchise. This is someone who can handle the big moment. This is someone who can hang in the pocket until the wheels fall off and make something happen. This is someone who made a play not many could on 4th down to give the Falcons a touchdown. Make no mistake about it, the offense left a lot to be desired, and they are by no means in final form, or at least let's hope not, but I hope Penix's play gives you some hope of what he can do in the future. Guys, thanks for joining us each and every Sunday. We will see you next Sunday, Sunday Night Football. I will be in Minneapolis.